Hello, everybody. This is Joy and Shawn with our SOC Talks this episode. And notice we have a wonderful third person on here with us here today. We're super excited to listen. We're going to just listen to you today, Gregg. We're just like, I know it's very hard for us not to talk. Just totally hard. But, we can handle this, right? Right, Shawn?
I can. I'm not sure about you, but yes. No. Yes, today, as you can see, we have our CEO, Gregg Bryers, on with us. And, we just wanted to kind of get Gregg's take and the importance of being at the VIP event, which is coming up in January, coming up soon. Very easy to qualify for. You can go back and even if you started in the last few months, you can still qualify for this thing. Very easy. So, Gregg, welcome. Thanks for being on, as Joy said, and just kind of give us your take on being at VIP events when the company has them, and they're frequent every year at least. So,
yeah, I've been around the company. I've been with the company in this role for right about a year and a half, but I've been around the company 8 or 9 years, and I think in supporting my wife, even as she Send Out Cards affiliate. I think that I only missed attending one convention, and it happened to be Disney World, where I had a conflict. Now, I've missed days at conventions, sitting in a hotel room and working, but I've not. I think I've missed only one, and there is something to be said about surrounding yourself with the leaders of the organization, both on the corporate side and in the field. There is something to be learned. I heard Jordan Adler say it now for 10 years. You want to be at the events. You want to be in the front row. I'm not a front row guy, but I did go to the events. I was standing up in the back of the room most of the time and just observing. And that's me, not even as an affiliate. I was a customer, strong customer of the company. It impacted my business incredibly. But especially in the network marketing business, where you are a solopreneur, there are certain places you can go get your inspiration, and you can learn and pick somebody to follow. One of my best things in my career, naturally, I don't know how I knew, but I knew, was always to pick a company or the person that would be the best mentor for me. And it typically didn't mean it was the easiest mentor for me. And in many cases, it was a very tough mentor. But I don't think it's any different outside the corporate world, and especially as a solopreneur, you have to find ways, because we all know there are days, and when you're a solopreneur, I always say this, and it's true, in the absence of any other information, your mind tends to go to the worst possible scenario, right? And that's when you get to the I'm going to quit on a bad day, one of the Jordan stories. So I think one of the values of it is you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people. You're purposely picking out people based on all kinds of criteria that you want to learn from. I have yet to see in this organization, at least the people I've met, anyone say no to anyone about helping them or mentoring them. I've seen people say you're going to have to work for it, but never have I seen someone not lend out a hand. So I think that's one of the most that's an internal reason to be there. There's another reason to be there and at events in general, because you get a real feel for the company and its heart and its mission that you can't really get anywhere else. We'll do an amazing job this year at a virtual convention. Sure. We will get much of that feeling across the screen, but January 15th, the first in-person, it's just going to be even that much better. Right. Because we will have that, togetherness. And as I've told you guys, I'll be hugging in January. I don't know what hazmat suit I will be wearing, but I will
Scuba Steve.
That's right.
Your Scuba Steve outfit.
Yeah, and look, if you're working from home, solopreneur or not, now lots of people are working from home. I'm working from home, but I've done so on and off in my career. It can be a very lonely place, right. Just like a solopreneur, right? It could be. It's all on you. And, there are things to be said about social interaction. I don't know that we'll ever bring the employees that send out cards back 5 days a week, every week.
Okay.
They will be back for some of that time.
Right.
And because the social interaction and brainstorming and collaboration is so important, they'll be there because people need that, and people need that in general. So I am of the take that you need that kind of physical interaction, and you can do a lot, but only so much on a Zoom, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Virtual high fives, but yeah, you're right. You're right. We're social animals, so
Yeah.
we crave that, most of us, we crave that interaction. And I think you make it a great point of, not only getting us affiliates together, but you get to meet the people that send out cards. And so when you do to talk to somebody on the phone, you know who you're talking to. You've had a conversation face to face with them and got to know them a little bit. You're right. That's invaluable too for somebody.
You would underestimate how many times that things that we implement at corporate come from the field.
Okay.
Come from a conversation and interaction with someone in the field, one of our affiliates, one of our customers, that gets brought up through, whether it's support or somewhere. I have lots of conversations with people, and those things that don't possibly get in the way of other priorities that we've set that are easier to do, we'll do them, and we're going to be doing them faster and faster as the IT team completes its next mission. So we're excited about that.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think especially with this event coming up in January, the meetings after the meetings, I so miss so much of that, with the Zooms have been good. We're really getting our point across. On convention, I'm sure it's going to be real curious. I know we're going to make it right. It's going to be like really cool, but it's like after the meeting, it's like,
right.
That's what's it's so hard missing that. So hard.
That's an excellent point, and that's what it's the meetings after the meetings. Everybody in SOC that's been here for a while knows that saying. I've seen it happen on cruise ships and hotels and restaurants all over the place, late into the evenings, late into the night, and that there's a hunger for information. There's a hunger for what makes success in send out cards, so you always have pockets of people around people. And I remember when I, met Cody for one of the first times. I remember when I met Jordan for one of the first times. And typically when I met Jordan, it was a meeting after the meeting. Mm-hmm. And we all know Jordan and love Jordan. But there was, you didn't, only because people told you he was a top income earner and send out cards, did you know he doesn't carry that with himself. And servant, actually a real servant of the organization, and we're lucky to have him. But yeah, those meetings after the meetings, my wife, remember my wife came into the business and is good friends with Callie Teagarden. And I just, sometimes I'm going to bed. I'm just going to bed, and they wouldn't miss them. But that's a great point. That's another reason to be there.
We could just have breakout rooms after each session and the convention, and you could just go from room to room and see who's in there and have chats,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As you know,
that may be in Jordan's room. Go on.
That's right. That's right. I remember, because at these conventions, somehow Callie and Melanie, Barbara Starley is in the upline. Never was there not a meeting after the meeting in her room.
Right.
And it's all these sub meetings and whatnot. Now, as you guys both know, because you were there at the last VIP event, that we like having breakouts.
Yeah.
So when you're ready we're just talking so far in general about getting to events. You've got to, there are a lot of people in this industry that will go to a lot of events, including generic events, ANMP, which I believe is coming up for the first virtual time.
Right.
Yeah, Jordan's call last night made me think of that. And I always say that if you can only do 2 events a year, well, the first one you got to get to is convention, right? And I don't think we'll do as many regional events across the U.S. As we had in the past. But get yourself to at least 2 events a year, and definitely make sure one of them is one of the company's events at the very least.
Yeah.
and bring at least one person with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that, just like our business can grow exponentially, you may be there by yourself at the first event, and then the next one you have 2 or 3 people, and all of a sudden then you have 30, and then you have 100. You're like, cool, how'd that happen? But it works the same way,
Yeah.
If you build towards events and tell people how important they are and and a lot of it you can't explain. You just got to be there to really get it.
Yeah.
You could say, hey, we have breakout sessions, the meeting after the meeting, and they're like, yeah. But until you experience it,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's funny, even coming back from the leadership, of course, the non-disclosure stuff you're not going to discuss with your team, but other kind of notes that I had taken and everything, I always it's always on my flight back, I'm like refining them so I can read them first of all, and putting them in a format so that if I'm going to talk to my team about them, I've got it down there. But, no matter how much you talk to them about it, it's like, it's still not the same. It's not.
Right, no.
It is still not the same. It's like they're looking at you with these looks, and it's like, you can only do so. You got to be there. You got to experience
the
it.
emotion of being there is, it's just, you're right. You can't explain it. We are a stand on your feet kind of company, and there's a ton of passion and emotion that come out at our events. Yeah. We'll get it out virtually, but I mean, being at an event, I've seen many people going to our conventions intimidated, especially to your point, Shawn, if they went alone. I've seen no one leave any of our events sorry that they went because they made friends, bar none. I've seen people that, Melanie herself would be that way. She went with Callie, I'm sure, for the first one, but, not naturally going to go out and make friends in a big crowd like that where she knows no one. But I haven't seen anybody leave thinking that, why did I feel like I had to be intimidated? He's great. But that's why, in general, you want to be at events.
Yeah. Yeah.
January events are a completely different story of why you need to be there.
You're going to give us a nugget? Why should we be there?
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a big fat no.
No,
that's a very smooth no.
Right. Yeah. Well, transition. Okay.
Some nuggets, but I won't give the nuggets.
No.
And people in your group have or have not seen some of the Monday night calls. For founder and CVO that's done this for 18 years, to literally say, what we will launch and announce on January 15th is the absolute largest thing this company's ever seen. Absolutely the most exciting thing this company's ever seen. Remember, we're a company that gives, and everything we do will be based on giving. That's what ties the general theme together for our organization. Tell me another company in this industry, this business model that we're in, honestly has that as the lofty goal. So we're going to be doing some things and shaking up some things. We've said it before. I mean, Cody and I have talked about this for a year and a half now. We both think Cody has done an amazing job on the first part of his mission, on having millions of people act on their promptings, reach out in kindness. I think that he and I, by the way, both feel that we're falling as a company a little bit shorter on and create financial freedom. So there's a hint, there's a nugget. Part of why we're doing what we're doing for the company and for our affiliates and all our stakeholders for that matter, is designed to really nail the second part of that vision down. And that makes it pretty exciting in and of itself. And I was proud to say on last night's call that, our subscription base is up 40% and so are our commission checks, but we're not happy enough yet. And we want to create more freedom. And you guys work hard enough and deserve to have an organization that is focused on that. Look, Cody's one of the most giving persons I have ever met, right? When he came to me with the kindness care package, I had to pick my skin up off the floor.
You want to do what?
Free. You're killing me, Smalls. One of the most kindest, generous, giving families the whole family that I've ever met in my life. And so that's what you base the vision on.
Right.
And that's what we will. So just to know that we'll be announcing our biggest announcement in the company in 18 years, that's reason enough. But besides that, and you both know this, we typically, or we set the record last year. We're a company that wants to have a great user experience, have a great user interaction, which means that we need to be working with the top leaders in the organization for what we need to do next.
Mhm.
We, as you know, last year, we came to you and said, here's what we're baking. Here's what we're thinking. And we started getting on calls every few weeks as a group and working that through. And, you know, COVID slowed one of those projects down, but I think we're going to be okay with it. And I think we'll find the right time to move forward. But I mean, in those breakouts for your guests that will see this, you know, we actually gave breakout groups complicated problems,
Mm-hmm.
right? We said, we need you to go wireframe something, you know, and that does a couple of things. One thing is it helps the company, our affiliates, understand that what may seem simple, right? When you start doing the decision tree,
Right.
right? Yes, okay, go to here, no, go to here. And that's why things get, especially on technology that has been here a while, it's the innovator's dilemma, right? Brand new, clean stack, 18 years worth of stack. You've got a lot of different challenges to overcome, which we will. So we're like, let's just take it to the group and say, okay, we want these two paths or whatever it was going to be.
Mhm.
And have, so that A, it helps the affiliate understand the challenge, and B, it helps us understand maybe how important that feature would be, how helpful it would be, how it fits in the strategy of how they grow their independent businesses and whatnot. And then sometimes we just talk about cool ideas, or a cool idea comes up from
Right.
someone. And I remember we were talking about last year, someone got up and started talking about her child's pen pal, which kind of spun into a whole idea in and of itself at the appropriate time, right? So that's why you want to be there. You want to be there for what we already said, which is all of the things, the meetings after the meetings and all the breakouts and hugging people, picking someone to mentor you and someone to lead or follow. But also the importance to be at this one is the future of our organization will be greatly changed for the better. Enhanced, let's call it enhanced for the better.
Right.
We don't, it's not like, we're not talking like we have something bad,
Right.
but we can enhance it and improve the ability to go down the financial freedom in addition to what you're currently doing with send out cards. So that's pretty exciting. Plus we'll be giving out free hugs. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be there? And it's doable.
Well, I know I speak for Joy and I, but we appreciate, I don't know there's many companies that would come out that and their founder would say, man, we've done this one really good. We've fallen short. We've fallen short on the financial freedom point.
Right.
And I can tell you 14 years, anytime something's been changed, and I hear it with other companies, you hear, oh, our compensation's changing. What are they taking away from me? It's never been like that at Send Out Cards.
Right.
When I tell people on a high overview, if I'm showing somebody and I say, look, if you're thinking about affiliate and that $395, we pay out $335 of that. And I always think of you, Greg, you're killing me, Smalls. And all I know, if we're doing a Zoom, you get that look like, what? How much? How are you doing? So it is really refreshing when a company says, look, we need to do better. We need to do better at that. And is transparent about it. We're not hiding. You guys aren't hiding it. You're not, it's very refreshing in today's world. Not like, how can we affect our bottom line? What can we take from them to make us better? So you're making us all better, which is going to make the company better, So you're right. You got to be at this one. It's not too difficult to qualify. Set your plan, get it done, be there with us, and have some fun and get a hug from Greg, even if he's in his Scuba Steve outfit.
That's right. I'll it's interesting you say that about the $395, and we talked about the kindness care package, but use whatever words you want: karma, divine intervention.
Yep.
Let me tell you what happens when that kind of heart's given out. I said it a minute ago. Okay, it was quite the attention put to the kindness care packages. We didn't do it perfectly. However, people think and can quickly add up what that cost the company. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, by the way. And I told you 5 minutes ago that or right before we started, I don't think I've said it on this call, that right now, our daily and weekly average gift sending is bigger than it's been in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bigger than it's been in 5 years. So if that was the event of the kindness of Cody's heart, then fine. Same thing with the $3.95. You're absolutely right. That is not in any way, shape, or form a profit center for the company.
Mm-hmm.
However, either on this call or when we first warmed up, we stated 1 year ago this week was convention, and our subscription business is up 40%.
Right.
So there's direct correlation, karma, divine intervention, or something that goes with a heart that drives our organization. Right. It's pretty cool to see.
And Greg, as you pointed out, that 40% doesn't include those packages, the kindness packages.
Well,
that's taken out of that.
That's just a subscription, but the gifts of
the gifts. I'm sorry, the gifts.
5 times. Yep. We took out the 42,000. Thank you for saying that, because that is what most people's reaction is.
Right.
I'm talking about today on an ongoing basis. Obviously, one of the measurements we track churn, we track growth of subscriptions. But 5 years, biggest improvement we've seen in 5 years. It's more than it's been, and that's an indication of working really hard over the last year and a half after coming out of, as we well know, a tough time for the organization, but we're ready.
Yeah.
And we're ready for January 15th.
Absolutely.
Almost said a word I shouldn't have.
Well, I'll tell you, no matter what is out there, when you have a heart, like this company has a heart, it's all gonna work out. That's the whole basis of this company. This company wasn't built on anything more than the heart. Now let's find out how the heart can accomplish both missions, kind of a thing. And,
without the conflict, right?
It's kind of like having that, we talk about each of us having a why, and it's kind of like you have your why out there, and then when things get tough or get hard, if you don't have a strong enough why, you can't go, you don't keep going. That's like, we have a strong enough heart that no matter what happens, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep walking forward. So.
And that's very true. And I'll tell you, our challenge is not where we're going. The challenge is, and it always is when a company grows, is keeping that. Mm-hmm. Is keeping yourself lean, is keeping yourself vision centric, is keeping your people with the same kind of hearts as they are today. We've got the plan for the growth. Mm-hmm. But what I want to make sure happens as CEO is that we don't lose ourselves over the next several years in the process, and we won't.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We won't. But that takes work too.
Yep.
The challenge is to stay, to your point, to stay true to our why. Mm-hmm. Stay true. There's not a lot. There's not ego that drives this company. We all do a different job at corporate, but we're all on the same team, and we won't let it creep in. You should see. I literally personally are involved in final interviews of most positions in organizations, because that's how careful. When we start to interview, even for IT, the first round of interview, it might shock you. It's not a technology test. There is quite the technology test. It's pretty harrowing, as a matter of fact. The first test is fit. Like, there is a direct series of questions and response and whatnot. Because if we take all the time and say this is a great tech that we want to add to the company, and then find out they don't fit in the family,
right?
That we've wasted that we know that is core competency for Send Out Cards, remaining and keeping its vision, heart, and values. So we're going to start there, because it doesn't matter if they're a great developer without this piece. Mm-hmm. And I find that very interesting. Chris has done that well. one of the main things I'm quite sad, and I know, look, we'll do the virtual tour of the building, but I really wanted everybody to see the change. We have one production and fulfillment facility now. We don't cross the street in the parking lot.
Right.
We didn't need the space, so we didn't keep the space, but it's pretty cool. But we'll get that through as much as we can on the virtual tour, but you will get it because you guys have been there enough and experienced it close enough
Right.
to understand what just took place. So yeah, once you come in, you don't leave the building again. You don't have to go.
We don't go outside and take our picture in front of the truck anymore.
Oh, you can't. Well, you certainly. We'll have that when it's a physical tour again. We'll definitely have that on it. Maybe we'll bring the truck up to the front for photo ops, but there would be no need to go out the hot parking lot in August.
That was always fun. It's like, here's the truck, get our picture, In fact, I even have it on my wall yet,
I'll tell you, it's I love to watch your show. You guys have such great rapport with each other, and I don't always get it, but when I can catch it, I do. And I usually text one of you. But for your viewers and listeners, turn the interview around a little bit. I want to ask you guys out there, what's your fear of being in Salt Lake City on January 15th? What's stopping you? It's a massive leap to hit the 3 goals. I challenge you that, and I'm not being mean or silly. I've been around the company for 9 years. I've seen lots of challenges. This is one of the easier ones to hit.
Yeah.
Say what you want. These guys are with me 14 years, telling you that. So I don't think challenge yourself if that's your thing. It's too hard to do. Are you fearful of something, of being there? Do you not want to be part of the future of the organization? I mean, I don't know how to challenge you. I don't know you each personally, but I would ask you to challenge yourself, because you will never regret being at an event like this and being part of, honestly, the next year's worth of think tank.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on. And these two guys doesn't have a gender for me. I lived in New York. And
I do the same thing, Greg. It's all good.
Yeah, right. So you guys here know that it comes with responsibility. So if you're afraid of taking some responsibility, maybe that's a fear that could be real to you. But we literally ask these teams, this isn't like a free ride to sit on the product launch team. We challenge each other. We ask them to do their homeworks. We make them sign non-disclosure agreements and everything else. And we put this group to work. And depending how big the group is next year, we may even have some subcommittees so that we don't get so large in the group. There's a size in which things. Imagine doing a Zoom call with 70. And it can get overwhelming at times. So one of the thoughts is maybe some subcommittees and breaking out some of the product launch stuff, which would be a good idea, and then come in at a greater collaboration. And like we did in breakouts, right? Each subcommittee could report, like it's exactly what we did last year. But if you want to be part of the decisions we make in the company, I'll be the first one to tell you, as Cody would, at the end of the day, we have to make a decision, and it's not a full democracy. But I think you both know what we truly trust and respect. And we come to this group with some getting ready to, by the way, that has nothing to do with a new product launch or anything. I'm getting ready to bring a plan to one of the next calls to get your ideas on something. We have been supporting legacy systems and points and whatnot. We've got to have that honest conversation. So you know what I do when I want to have the conversation? I've got 70 close friends that are affiliate leaders in this organization, and I'm going to go ask for some opinions, and there's pros and cons to every part of the plan. So who's best to give me the pros and cons? These guys are. So that's it.
I think that's the perfect way to end this. So you're challenged, everybody. We
so appreciate you being upfront, honest, and
absolutely,
and from the heart. I mean, this is what it's all about. And you know, I know we're very glad to be a part of this, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, what date is today? Oh,
11th.
got a long way to wait.
Gonna go by like that.
Yeah. You may be thinking that there is a tremendous amount of lift because the goal is so big, you know, and it's terrific. And we're going to be seeing super stuff come out of it early on and as time goes on as well. But yeah, keep letting us know what you need from us, and we will try to set the priorities in a way in which we can execute them all. You know, in a current book we're reading right now, all the success people have really good or fantastic ideas they have no capacity for, right? So we can't even think that we can be all to everyone.
Right.
You know, no company, no church, no anything can be, right? No organization can be. But they talk about Apple, and Apple says all the products that we make can fit, they fit on this conference table. And the guy who was in charge of Microsoft and battling the Apple and the iPhone said, well, it's not fair. They have one to deal with. We have 40 different kinds that we're supporting globally, right? And you think about it, you have to, you know, there will never be a shortage of good ideas. We just need to be the great stewards that we can to pick the right ones for our vision, for our giving. So challenge you all to be there. We'd love to see you. I will tell you this, we're not going to have the same limit. So it'll be higher than, I know we talked about it in the call last night. So we're already thinking subcommittees and different things. It's pretty exciting. Talk to anybody that was there last year. Yeah.
It was
You
good.
guys are so kind to have me on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
thanks for
thank you
being on. We
very
appreciate
much.
you taking
You
your
know,
time.
as we wrap it up here, everybody, see you next week on SOC Talks. It's gonna be a fun ride from
Go to
now
work.
first of the year. Make sure you're there. Bye, everybody.
Absolutely.
Bye, Joy.
Thank you guys. Ciao.
All right.